Forget everything you know about pirates. It wasn't just about rum and treasure. Real pirates were the most dangerous, organized, and surprisingly fair outlaws in history. Did you know they had a secret insurance system for lost limbs? Or that the Jolly Roger wasn't always a sign of death? Today, we're diving into the dark, bloody, and fascinating truth behind the Golden Age of Piracy. Let's set sail. Chapter 1. The Final Court of Blackbeard, the Last Battle at Cape Lopez. February 1722 was sultry. Near Cape Lopez, off the coast of modern-day Gabon, the air seemed as solid as tar. The Royal Fortune, the pride of the pirate fleet, a 40-gun frigate carrying over 200 desperate cutthroats, lay at anchor. Its captain, Bartholomew Roberts, known as Blackbeard, was a man of paradoxes. He forbade gambling, demanded discipline, honored Sunday services, and, unlike his colleagues, hardly drank rum. He lived the life of a true seafaring gentleman, becoming the most successful pirate in history. A few days earlier, the pirates had captured the British frigate Onslow, renaming it Royal Fortune. Roberts was at his peak. He controlled trade routes, had a fleet of several ships, and a loyal crew. But in the shadows of the jungle, a predator was stalking them. The British warship HMS Swallow, commanded by Captain Chaloner Ogle, had been hot on their heels for some time. Ogle, an experienced and cool-headed strategist, knew that simply attacking the Blackbeard would mean entering a bloody massacre from which they might not emerge alive. Ogle had sprung an elegant trap. He allowed Roberts to capture the merchantman, then, seizing the opportunity, began maneuvering as if the Swallow were retreating in panic. Roberts, his confidence soaring after hundreds of victories, ordered full speed ahead. He had no idea that the British were deliberately losing distance to lure the pirates away from the safety of the shoals. On February 10, when the British abruptly turned and raised their battle flags, Roberts still couldn't believe it was a trap. He stood on the quarterdeck, clad in a luxurious red silk doublet, a gold-embroidered waistcoat, and a hat with a red feather. A diamond cross glittered on his chest, a gift captured from one of the merchantmen. He looked like a king attending a ball, not a robber on the scaffold. The battle began with a roar of broadsides that shook the ocean itself. The Swallow opened fire first, accurately smashing the pirates' yards. Roberts attempted to turn the Royal Fortune to fire a full salvo, but the maneuver failed. In the heat of battle, with gunpowder smoke completely obscuring the sky, Roberts was struck by grapeshot. It passed through his throat, ending the life of the Atlantic's greatest pirate in an instant. Bart's fall caused confusion. According to the pirate code he himself had written, the captain's body was not to fall into enemy hands for public mockery. Despite a hail of bullets, loyal comrades ran to the lifeless body, wrapped it in a sail, filled a sack with heavy cannonballs, and tossed it overboard. The sea had welcomed its master. The death of their leader broke the crew's morale. A few hours later, the Royal Fortune lowered its flag. With Roberts's fall, the Golden Age began to rapidly fade, for with it went the last great strategist who had transformed maritime piracy into an organized military machine. 1. Pirate social justice insurance system. Few people know that pirate crews were among the most progressive communities of the time. Many captains followed a pirate code, which provided a kind of social security system. If a pirate lost a limb in battle, he received monetary compensation from a common fund. For example, 600 pesos for a lost arm or leg. This made piracy attractive to the poor and former sailors of the Royal Navy, who, after being injured in government service, were simply washed ashore penniless. A pirate ship often became their last chance to secure a pension. Chapter 2. Edward teaches shadow play. Charleston as a hostage. In 1718, Blackbeard, or Edward Teach, was no longer just a pirate. He had become a myth. His image, smoking fuses woven into his enormous black beard, crossed baldricks with 6 pistols on his chest, was designed to make his opponents surrender without even drawing their swords. But Teach's most brilliant battle was the blockade of the port of Charleston, Carolina. Teach led his fleet, including the majestic flagship Queen Anne's Revenge, to the harbor's exit. The city was paralyzed with fear. Teach didn't demand gold or jewels. His coffers were plentiful. He captured several prestigious merchant ships and took influential citizens hostage, including a member of the city council. The ultimatum he delivered to the authorities was both absurd and terrifying. He demanded a chest of medical supplies for his crew. The town, fearing Teach would raze its houses to the ground, complied with his request as quickly as possible. It was an act of humiliation for the British Crown. A pirate was dictating terms to an entire town, and it obeyed. Teach had won the psychological battle without firing a shot. He had demonstrated that power was determined not by title, but by the ability to inspire fear. However, a rift was brewing within the pirate fraternity. Teach understood that the time for large-scale raids was passing, and the Queen Anne's Revenge was too conspicuous. He decided to reduce the crew, retaining only loyal men to divide the loot. His plan was insidious. He deliberately ran the flagship aground in a narrow channel off the coast of Beaufort. Those who attempted to rebel were quickly and bloodily suppressed. The most horrific moment was the exodus to Topsail Island. Teach marooned more than 20 men on a tiny sandy islet without a drop of fresh water, and simply sailed away, leaving them to languish in the blazing sun. It was a pirate-style trial, not for murder or theft, but for excessive talk and dissatisfaction with the captain. When passing sailors later found only bones bleached in the sun, it became clear Edward Teach was no mere rebel. He was a tyrant for whom the lives of his men were worth less than a supply of gunpowder. Charleston remembered this blockade for decades as a reminder that even the greatest civilization is defenseless against absolute, amoral savagery. 2. The Secret of the Jolly Roger. The famous Jolly Roger with its skull and crossbones wasn't always simply a symbol of intimidation. During the Age of Sail, there was the bloody flag, red, which meant no quarter, a signal that pirates would board and kill all who resisted. The classic black flag was often used for psychological warfare. If a merchant ship spotted it from afar and surrendered without a fight, the pirates usually spared the crew and didn't even loot their personal belongings. It was a kind of business deal. The merchant ship saved time and lives, and the pirates received their cargo undamaged. So, were they monsters or the first pioneers of true freedom? The line was always thin. History remembers them as villains, but their codes and courage changed the sea forever. But what do you think? Would you have joined their crew for a chance at freedom, or stayed on the shore? Let me know in the comments below. Smash that like button if you want to sail with us again, and subscribe for more deep dives into history. See you on the next voyage.